Hello everyone, thank you for tuning into my channel. So today I wanted to share with you my favorite self-help books. I have a lot of books. I do a lot of reading. In some of my past videos when I was standing up, you could see like my bookshelf is full of books, and I have books like in the back with books on books on books. And I've always get questions about my books, and sometimes I want to talk about it and sometimes I don't. But I wanted today to talk about my favorite self-help books, and I have 4 books that I've selected today from all the books that I have because they're in different areas. And not that some of my other books are not my favorite, but I just wanted to condense this video and keep it down to 4 books that I think are going to be great for people who are in various places in their lives. So the first book that I'm going to start with is called Happy Women Live Better, and it's by Valerie Burton. And the reason why I love this book is, first and foremost, it was written by a Black woman. So her perspective on happiness and some of the issues that a Black woman are experiencing that creates unhappiness is I can really relate to. Not to say that someone who's not Black can't, but I felt when I was reading it like it was clear to me like a sister wrote this book. And that was something that I really valued in the book because her examples of unhappiness and what causes them were really relatable to me. In the book, she talks about how to unlock the secret to your personal happiness. There are a total of 13 chapters going up to page 205, where she talks about happiness triggers, and each trigger has a section where she talks about the type of unhappiness, the happiness, and what you can do to awaken your happiness. And I really love it. There's lots of suggestions on things you can do to become more happier, and from anticipation and creating opportunities that you know you're going to be doing something in the future that will make you happy. Smiling and using smiling to make how smiling more makes you happy, how being of service and helping others and what that does for you and your self-esteem and how that makes you happy. And there's so many. She goes in more and more and more doing things that are relaxing and having a good time and how those things help to make you happy. So I love the book because there's a lot of information in it that when you're feeling not your best, you can read it, and when you're in a great place, reading it also helps to remind you on things you can do to be happy. And I think it's a great book for your collection. So the next book I'll talk about is The Highly Paid Expert, and this book is by Debbie Allen. So if you're a business professional and you're someone who is looking to take your business as an expert, this is more for people who are looking to do public speaking or who have done public speaking. If you're someone who's looking to get into public speaking and you want to turn your passions and skills and talents into a career, this is the type of book you want to read. A lot of what I read in this book, and I've not finished this book, I'm on chapter 6. Even though I bought this a while ago, I have a bad habit of not always finishing the books. There's 25 chapters, but in the first few chapters, she talks about turning your passion and skills into talent and into big money, and master your mindset, expert, invest in other experts. And in that chapter, she's talking about taking courses and classes, building a solid brand foundation, and how to get started in that. And ultimately, I find that I'm going through some of the same things that I've experienced through what she's talking about here as an expert. I've gone through the transition through all these things, and I am learning a lot about myself as a business owner and how to take myself to the next level. That's who this book would be great for. The next book is The Everything Guide to a Happy Marriage, and it's by Stephen Martin and Victoria Costello. And I really like this book. I mean, I love this book. I shouldn't even say like it. I've had this book forever. I bought this book when I first got married, which was over 6 years ago. And I still find myself opening it up from time to time to read things. The book is a very practical, down-to-earth way of thinking about your marriage. So you can really relate to it. Anybody can relate to this book. It's not hard to read. It's not too deep. But the first chapter is talking about what makes a marriage work. And the second chapter is the danger signs in marriage. So those two chapters are chapters that I tend to read often because it will tell you a lot about communication, about trust, about humor, and about some of the things that come up in your relationship that you really need to know. And in the danger signs of marriage, that chapter talks about not giving up too soon, sex interrupted, spending out of balance, mood swings, and all those things. I mean, there's so many chapters in this book. This book has 20 chapters that are basically helping you get out of trouble. They want you to be aware of some of the things that come up, and they give you suggestions and support on how to get out of them. But obviously the goal would be to avoid them so you don't have marital problems in the beginning, but that's not always the case. So depending on where you are in your relationship, this is always going to be a good read. My husband and I have been married for 6 years, and a lot of the things that I read in this book at the very beginning of our marriage, I took heed to and avoided a lot of problems to this day that I think other people struggle with. And the last book that I want to talk about as one of my favorite books, self-help books, is I Declare 31 Promises to Speak Over Your Life. This is by Joel Osteen. Now, this is another book that I've not finished. However, it's the type of book that you're supposed to read kind of like on a day-to-day basis. I got to day 8, but I can tell you and assure you that from the first 7 days of what I read, it was really helping me in my meditation because I would read it and I would also journal some of the things that I was reading in this book that I got for $5 from TJ Maxx. And so I would read one of the days. It's 31 days, so if you can read it in 1 month and you'll be done. But the first day of the book is called I Declare, and then it has a maybe 5-sentence paragraph basically stating what mantra you should be saying to yourself for that day. I declare God's incredible blessings over my life. I will see an explosion of God's goodness, a sudden widespread increase. I will experience the surpassing greatness of God's favor. It will elevate me to a level higher than I ever dreamed of. Explosive blessings are coming my way. This is my declaration. And then from that, there's usually about 3 pages that you can read where Joel references biblical events and also real life worldly experiences, and uses that to demonstrate how you are going to receive God's favor. And, if you're not religious, I understand it might not be something you really would want to read, but if you are, and I would highly suggest for those of you, this is a great book because it's great for meditating. Like I said, you can read it every single day for 31 days, and then you're done the book. Take your notes and journal, and you can revisit it in a year from that point, or whenever you have a time where you really need something to just reawaken you. And if you're having a moment in your life where you're really down or you're really depressed and you feel like you're about to hit rock bottom, you can pick up something like this and it should inspire you to not to go over the ledge. There's something in here that will reawaken your spirit and make you realize that you have so much to live for. All right, so those are my 4 self-help book recommendations that I feel like if you can get your hands on those and you start working on them, you will be better in business, in your marriage, in yourself, and in your spiritual journey. Please give this video a like, a thumbs up if you liked it. If you're not subscribed, please definitely do subscribe. And as always, I love you for watching. Bye. You gotta come over here. They can't see you. Bye. Right here. And as always, I love you for watching. Bye.